Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333 and welcome back to our time for Kaiserreich as Poland. Now, last video was a lot of really introduction stuff, nothing too crazy or in-depth. Well, in-depth, yes, we went over the lore, but from there, it was a lot of just catching up on what was about to happen. And I still wasn't entirely sure what path I was going to take. I'm a bit more sure about what path I want to take now. But we'll work towards that. We'll just kind of, well, for now we'll play it out. I have an idea of what I want to do. But if it ends up not working out like I have envisioned right now, that's alright. Kerensky shot? What? Never seen that one before. Is that a new event? How peculiar. What are they doing now? Looks like Romanov. Okay. Totalist Charter. Eddie the Eighth. A lot of the usual motions continuing to motion through. Yeah. Oop. There we go. So, we have the appointment of a general inspector. As professional as the Polish army may be in comparison to its fellow members of the Reich Pact, a series of reports made by the Ministry of Defense throughout the 30s has spurred the creation of a program for the general modernization of the army. The first task of the program would be the formation of a general inspector of the armed forces, an office which reports directly to the head of state and oversees the modernization of the military, while also serving as the role of commander-in-chief in the case of war. The Germans unsurprisingly pushed forward the candidacy of Heinz Guderian. While giving a German such a high role in the army would be a risky move, he is a brilliant visionary, and his ideas of mobile warfare have been applauded by many as the next step forward in warfare. Kazimierz Soskovsky is another reputable choice, a genius organizer and intellectual, palatable in many of the factions in government. A third option would be the uncontroversial Leon Berbecki, whose tireless work is to thank for the good shape of the Polish army nowadays. He's both reasonably popular as a former legionnaire, but also among those who cooperated very early with the monarchy. Planning speed, defense, or division speed. I don't think we need division speed. I'm not too worried about that. Army experience, division defense we might need, honestly. I have a creeping feeling we're going to need division defense, so I'll go with Soskovsky. We'll turn the army into a force to be feared. Now, we could do more army stuff, but gonna have an emergency session soon, I'm guessing. Although, we could get a real quick military factory, so I might want to do that, actually. I think I will. While planning to modernize, reform, and expand our military is a worthy notion, these plans are a little more than fantasies if we do not have the industry to create such a force. Because of this, we'll match our program of military expansion with a parallel program of expansion in the military-industrial sector, which other members of the government propose could be tied into bridal industrial plans. Here we go. Let's do it. Gridlock in France. It took mere hours for the Warsaw Stock Exchange to crash. Once the news reached us of events in Germany, numerous corporations, not only German but Polish as well, had invested greatly into government bonds, which they now found to be worthless. More and more panic selling followed as a chain of dominoes continued their fall. The Bank of Poland, independent of the government, held a sizable amount of German government bonds that had been used to stabilize the Polish market during the past few years. With the current turn of events, this proved to be a horrible decision, as a major part of the bank's reserve stock lost all of its value, sending our currency into free fall. Hundreds of thousands of Poles, perhaps millions, have lost their savings and very quickly afterwards their jobs, as the entire private economy came crashing down. 2 decades of economic growth with a German juggernaut has come to a screeching halt, and we are left alone to pick up the pieces. Oh, nee. Black Monday. It's not very good. Not gonna lie. Lose some German and Austrian influence, which actually isn't too bad, but also some monarchy popularity, which might not be too bad depending on how we want to handle things. Depending, of course. Normally preferring to avoid involving himself in the day-to-day politics of the kingdom, it came as a surprise when August the 4th, king by God's grace, expressed his wish to address the Chamber of Deputies of Assem today. Today the king spoke in front of 128 deputies on the crisis currently engulfing the nation. His demeanor was calm and compromising as he spoke of his responsibility to do the best for the well-being of Poland. All Poland. With unemployment skyrocketing and political violence surging to heights unseen in 2 decades, His Majesty's responsibility is to decide which path to follow. Augustus' words seek compromise and nonpartisanship, but many feel like they hold a veiled threat. Either the elected government handles the crisis, or, failing that, the king may turn to the less democratic means often pushed by his German advisors. Regardless of their loyalties, something everyone can agree with is the core of the king's speech. Drastic measures must be taken. Onwards. This emergency session has been called. So I'll read this real quick. In a speech of Assem, the king has put pressure on its members to resolve the crisis quickly, lest he make good on his threat to use his significant powers to resolve the issues plaguing the nation as he sees fit. The Sem will begin to work to pull Poland out of the crisis, while in the background the king will begin deciding whether he feels the parliament can really be trusted with what he asks of them. Well, we still got to finish up the 6-year plan. We don't have to, but I'm going to. Germany spent a considerable amount of money to save the KWIP, Polish State Railways, from collapse by buying the majority shares sold by the German holding company, the KPU GHSTE. While with this major investment, the Rudens workers have their immediate livelihood secured for time being. A silver lining. We could use some stability, so I will take that. The illusion of Qing hegemony shattered. The LKMT is breaking away. Yeah. So it's not turning out very well for the League right now, is it? Good Friday, the day commencing the death of Christ, turned bloody this year as thousands of the unemployed attacked the Zawerci City Hall near Kielce. They demanded to be paid their unemployment allowances, but due to a bureaucratic mistake, the payrolls had not been prepared yet. The enraged crowd, fearing their livelihoods, stormed to the office, no doubt organized by the syndicalist. The situation escalated to a firefight with the police claiming at least 2 lives. The situation has calmed down by the evening, and the allowances were paid to the people the next day. Well, the police were right to use force. How about that? We could rally monarchists, but I think I'll do... I'll acquire some foreign-owned assets. I think a good... Oh, what is that? White Ruthenia. Syndicals take over. And Straya and Jing. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. Well, we finish up our 6-year plan. It's probably a good idea to take a look at this. I think we should drop the gold standard. The gold standard has been long part of conventional economic thought, with many comforted by the stability seemingly offered by gold backing. For many pro-German interests, it was also tied our economy firmly to gold-backed Middle Europa. With the crash of the black market from Black Friday, the dependence on gold has left our economy unresponsive. In a bid to escape this trap, many within the government are now calling to abandon gold backing and switch to fully fiat currency. We gotta do what we gotta do. Did Ukraine always... Has Ukraine owned these for a while? Because I used to remember Belarus owning these. I was about to say, I might have an opportunity to sneak in and take some land from White Ruthenia, but not of, Ukraine. Fighting who? Ooh. Well, this could be fun. If they're inviting the Reds in. Ooh, we got a new military factory. We're doing okay. Support equipment, artillery. Good, working towards some more infantry equipment, methinks. Next, what do we got? Let's do mechanical computing. Some extra research speed. Socialist revolution in Iran. Interesting. What do we want to do? I think we'll look into the cooperative movement. Present cooperatives have long been a way for poor rural populations to improve their lot. A combination of providing security and a form of social participation for the rural population have made them a very useful institution to encourage. It's because of this that many are proposing we encourage the creation of new cooperatives, which go a long way to make our food producers secure from market fluctuations. The economic fallout has struck Lublin particularly hard, and over 8,000 people have been left unemployed. A delegation organized by the Socialists first requested and then demanded the city authorities to arrange public works for starving masses. Rebuked, mass of workers stormed to the state employment agency. An 80-man-strong police unit was dispatched to disperse the crowd, which led to a melee where the police were forced to use the butts of their rifles and bayonets to stop the people hurling stones at them. Finally, after 2 volleys of rifle fire, the crowd's spirit broke, leaving at least 12 people hospitalized and 2 dead. The workers dispersed. For now. We can only expect more of such encounters if the economic situation does not improve. Order must be maintained. With bayonets, if it comes to that. Surges of violence against Polish Jews are by no means rare, but the incident of a Jewish village of... How the fuck am I supposed to say that? Przewitek, near Radom, has shocked the kingdom. The disorder started from a minor dispute between a Jewish baker and a Polish farmer during the annual town fair. The relationship between the Jews of Przewitek robbery strained on the Polish Catholic farmers living around the town. Some local Poles were calling for boycotts against the Jews, who were blamed for undercutting Polish farmers' sales. The fair turned into a riot, and the Jewish market stalls were attacked and their properties destroyed. The Jews, who had organized their own defense organizations, tried to defend themselves from a numerically superior host of Poles. Finally, a Jewish member of the Zionist organization, Misrachi, fired at the Poles. The shots turned the riot into a pogrom. The crowd demanded blood. Many Jews were beaten, and some died of their injuries. Around 50 people were blamed in the aftermath of the riot, both Poles and Jews being accused of violence. Both present conflicting versions of events, with both claiming to have acted in self-defense. You know, if they didn't want to fight, they shouldn't have armed themselves. I guess, I don't know. The Polish countryside is strongly polarized between the very large estates owned by nobility and the barely self-sufficient smallholders with plots too small to acquire capital for mechanization or expansion. This has led to many small-scale farmers accruing large amounts of debt to fund the buying of tractors and other agricultural machines for their villages. During the economic boom, this was an effective way of increasing the productivity of land and eventually paying back the debts, but as prices for agricultural goods plummet after Black Monday, thousands of farmers have found themselves crushed under a mountain of ever-increasing debt and face the possibility of losing their land to equally desperate bankers. Needless to say, this has led the peasantry to turn increasingly interested in the radical program of the PSL, preaching for their own liberation. Well, they're on their own. I don't know what to tell you guys. One year ago, Josef Pilsudski died in Warsaw, having spent the last decades in retirement and unofficial house arrest. Thousands of people have gathered today to pay homage to the idolized Polish patriot, visiting his grave and those of many other fallen heroes of Poland's War of Liberation. While pro-German elements and the king himself prefer to paint the national hero first and foremost as a leader of the anti-Russian struggle, it's obvious that he's also seen as a hero of the anti-German struggle. Stark contrast to the waning popularity of the king, Pilsudski's memory seems to unite Poles across the political spectrum. Even those among the military idolize him. Even if officially it's simply a matter of honoring past heroes, this visible occasion of Polish patriotism does show how little loyalty that the Germans have inspired. Pilsudski's final gift to Poland was a reminder to the Germans. They were foreigners ruling over Poles. They might have their loyalty for now, but if the empire was to ever show weakness, there would be hell to pay. I'll let them honor him. Why not? Got the cooperative movement. We're going to need a lot more of control over our economy, would seem. Could float the zloty while we're here. Now let's float the zloty. By taking our currency off the gold standard, we had to be careful in order to not cause a total currency collapse. Now that some time has been allowed to pass, we can properly reintroduce the zloty in its new floating form. While this will likely lead to more fluctuating prices, it should hopefully grant us greater means to work our way out of a crisis, while also winning us some support for having a more independent currency from Berlin. There we go. We have 48%. You can do cooperative subsidies. I think I'll work with those subsidies. Why not? 48, 30, 20. Quite a bit of Polish influence. You'll have to see it. Am I going to sneeze? Anyway. The leadership of the Union of Polish Legionnaires. Originally created as an association of former soldiers of the Polish legions and later as close associates of Josef Pilsudski in 1918, the Union of Polish Legionnaires, as it is in Polish, has served since then as a legal combatant organization in the Kingdom of Poland. While on paper, this organization's purpose was to memorialize the Legion's accomplishments and help its former members, in reality it was one of the power bases of Pilsudski's organization, serving as a link between him and the Republican underground while he was in house arrest. Now the old commandant has passed away, and the freshly chosen Edward Ryd-Smigli has resigned from leadership of ZLP. The election of a new leader was necessary, though it was a hard task, as Pilsudski's followers were divided since his death. Three men are considered as possibilities. Adam Koch, protege of the new commandant, who might open more cracks in already broken camp. Kazimierz Sosnowski, an old friend of Pilsudski, even considered by some as a natural heir, who might mend the rift caused by Ryd's leadership. And Alexander Pristor, a long-time colleague of the old commandant, who's lately been cooperating with the PPS. You know, I think Pristor will bring us back to revolutionary times. You might be figuring out what path I'm sort of leaning towards right now. If we don't get it, that's okay, but Yeah. Let's get basic machine tools. So I think it's been a while since I've played Red. Well, let me think back. Is that a true statement? Hold on. Let's see. Kaiserreich, Egypt. I did Egypt. Sardinia. That was not red. New England was not red. Yeah, I haven't played on Cindy in a while. Romania went democratic. So it's a while since I've played a syndicalist nation. So I figured if I can get it, which is potentially a big if, but if possible, I'd be down to do it. So yeah. Whether that happens or not, we'll just have to wait and see, though. And we're not going to plan out this video, because I have to end it here. Thank you as always for watching, however. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button for uploads weekdays as well as occasionally Saturdays. If you have any comments, feedback, and certainly leave a comment section below. I read all the comments I get and appreciate any other feedback you might have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below. I have a Twitch, Discord, Patreon, second channel. All of those are free to check out. That's it for now, my friends. I thank you as always for watching. My name has been Mr. Dogboat333, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye now.